Picture this. An Athenian counselor named Lycidas stands in a crowded assembly on the island of Salamis, raising his hand to propose a controversial idea. Maybe we should consider the Persian peace offer. What follows isn't the civil discourse one might expect, but a brutal response. Instead of debate, fellow counselors close in on him and stone him to death on the assembly floor. The chaos doesn't stop there. The women of Athens hear the uproar and rush to Lycidas' home, dragging his wife and children into the streets to share the same grim fate. This isn't a scene from a horror movie, but a stark reality of 479 BC. The Greeks, traumatized and homeless after horrific losses, have turned to unyielding violence, giving way to a brutal, zero-tolerance mindset that sets the stage for the final showdown. This leads us to the Battle of Plataea, where the Greeks transform from victims into ruthless combatants. With King Xerxes gone, his dangerous general, Mardonius, remains a man determined to crush Greek resistance, weighing in at an astounding 300,000 strong. Mardonius holds a knife at Greece's throat, recently incinerating Athens for good measure. The Athenians, living as refugees, have reached their breaking point. They dispatch runners to Sparta with a chilling ultimatum. If the Spartans do not march imminently, the Athenian navy will join Persia, leaving the Spartans vulnerable. The Spartans, previously hesitant and hiding behind the Isthmus of Corinth, now face a wake-up call like no other. Their ephors swiftly issue an unprecedented mobilization order. They don't merely send a vanguard, they mobilize the entire city. A staggering 5,000 elite Spartiates don their armor. But here's the logistical detail that exemplifies their intent. For every Spartan knight, 7 helot slaves are ordered to march alongside them. That means 35,000 armed helots join the fight, alongside 5,000 auxiliary troops from various provincial regions, forming a massive column of 45,000 soldiers that vanishes from the Peloponnese before dawn breaks. When Athenian envoys awaken to confront their Spartan leaders, the ephors simply check the sunrise and state, "You can stop shouting. The army is already at the border." The hunt has begun. As the Spartans march north, chaos stirs in the Persian camp. Mardonius, far from the mindless horde often depicted in popular narratives, adapts rapidly. His forces consist of 300,000 battle-hardened veterans, including the feared immortals, elite heavy infantry who had once shattered the Spartan line. Seeing the Spartans leave the Peloponnese, Mardonius feels a spark of excitement. Understanding that he cannot directly engage the powerful Greek hoplites in the narrow streets of Athens, where their formation would excel, he retreats to Boeotia, luring the Greeks into a trap. He orders Athens razed, reducing the city to mere rubble, and withdraws to the plains of Plataea, strategically choosing the open ground along the Asopus River. Why this location? Because Greek phalanx tactics are flawed on flat terrain. They are slow and cumbersome. Knowing this, Mardonius constructs a fortified stockade, square mile of wooden walls and towers, effectively establishing a military city within the field. Here, he awaits the Greeks, anticipating their assault. Now, an allied Greek army, bolstered by reinforcements from city-states opposed to Persia, arrives and witnesses the vast array of Persian tents below. Led by Spartan regent Pausanias, the Greek commanders make the wise decision to remain on the rocky slopes of Mount Cithaeron rather than descending into the valley where they would be easily outmaneuvered by the Persian cavalry. Days pass without engagement, leading to an intense stalemate. Mardonius, frustrated by the inactivity, sends his cavalry on a reconnaissance mission led by the formidable Mecistius, a towering figure renowned in the Persian ranks. The cavalry ride up the slopes, teasing the Greek lines with arrows and taunts, humiliating the Spartans now holed up in the hills. As the harassment intensifies, Messarians on the Greek side, pinned down and desperate, send a plea for help to Pausanias. "Send support or we leave." Recognizing the potential for panic, Pausanias faces a dilemma. Who would be brave enough to engage Persian cavalry on open terrain? Just then, a group of 300 Athenians steps forward, echoing the legendary stand of the 300 Spartans at Thermopylae. They charge down to aid the trapped Megarians, bringing their own archers into the fray. In the ensuing skirmish, chaos reigns, but luck favors the Greeks. An arrow pierces Mecistius' horse, thrusting him to the ground in a spectacular fashion. Their enemy's favorite commander now vulnerable, the Athenians swarm him, struggling to land a fatal blow against his sophisticated scale armor. After several failed attempts, one Greek soldier drives a spear through the eye hole of Mecisteus' helmet, killing the Persian commander and sending shockwaves through Mardonius's ranks. The death of Mecisteus becomes a potent rallying cry for the Greeks. Spirited with morale, they parade his corpse through their lines, celebrating their first victory as a cohesive alliance. However, emotions soon shift back to reality. Mardonius is undeterred and the real struggle remains ahead. As August bleeds into high summer, the sun bears down relentlessly on the Greek forces clad in heavy bronze armor. Their respite from battle has resulted in an unforeseen concern: thirst. Pausanias realizes his army is exposed, so he moves the entire contingent toward Gargaphia Spring, a vital water source. Yet Mardonius watches, unstirred, allowing the Greeks to draw closer, aware that their supply lines now lie vulnerable. When the Greeks position themselves near the spring, Mardonius seizes the opportunity. Instead of sending forth his infantry, he dispatches his cavalry to execute a brilliant tactic of isolation. They circle the Greek army and ambush a large convoy of supply wagons en route from the Peloponnese, not merely capturing them but slaughtering the oxen and drivers along the way. The effect is catastrophic. The Greek army is cut off from sustenance. The Battle of Plataea morphs from a traditional clash into a war of attrition as the Greeks face 8 relentless days of escalating dehydration. Fearful of moving forward, paralyzed by concerns of open ground being deadly against cavalry charges, they remain pinned where they are. Each day, Mardonius sends his cavalry to harass them, launching volleys of arrows into their ranks with little retaliation from the beleaguered Greeks. On the 11th day, as hydration inches toward crisis, Mardonius snaps, choosing to attack the Gargaphia Spring itself, inflicting a calculated bit of sabotage rather than a direct assault. Persian cavalry trample the spring, muddying its once crystal waters into an undrinkable sludge. Suddenly, the primary source of water for the Greek coalition is rendered useless, leaving 100,000 men on the brink of collapse. Imagine the scene. Night falls over the Greeks. Their bodies are exhausted, lips cracked and dry, while mired in discontent and desperation. Panic ripples through their ranks, igniting discussions and arguments among city-state leaders. The Athenians want to launch an immediate attack. The Corinthians counsel retreat. Meanwhile, the steadfast Spartans refuse to abandon their position. Pausanias, the fragile thread keeping this coalition together, realizes he must act. Another day spent in inaction could dissolve their numbers through thirst or mutiny. He devises one of the most daring maneuvers in warfare: a tactical retreat at night while facing the enemy. The plan is audacious, but logical. Under the cloak of night, the Greeks intend to pull back to Island, a closer, more defensible location with access to fresh water. This undertaking demands absolute coordination. The Greeks must move without making a sound, with every contingent acting in unison. But, as any military strategist knows, plans rarely survive first contact with reality. As darkness falls and the moonlight creeps above Mount Cithaeron, the signal to withdraw is given. Chaos ensues almost instantly. The center of the Greek formation, comprised of men from Corinth, Megara, and other city-states, does not merely retreat. Overwhelmed by fear, they bolt. Many dash back to Plataea itself, huddling around the Temple of Hera, effectively removing themselves from the fight. In the shadows, the Greek army loses nearly 50% of its strength due to sheer panic. On the right wing, where the proud Spartans hold their ground, the issue isn't fear. It is pride, embodied by Captain Amompharetus, who refuses to abide by the retreat order. Surrounded by his men, he stubbornly declares to Pausanias that he will not dishonor Sparta by running from strangers. In that dark hour, a pivotal confrontation unfolds. Pausanias, the high commander of the Greek forces, finds himself engaged in a heated argument with Amompharetus, who stood firmly on his principles and refused to yield. Their debate turns heated amidst fierce whispering from the fleeing men, and Pausanias pleads for understanding, insisting it's not a retreat but a necessary repositioning. As tensions mount, Amompharetus refuses to abandon his post, his stubbornness awakening the ancient warrior ethos steeped in Spartan pride. This fateful confrontation occurs in the dim light of the night, revealing the deep divides within the coalition formed to resist Mardonius's forces. In this moment of disunity, the ghosts of Thermopylae echo through the ranks, reminding the Spartans of their fallen brethren. Yet the stakes have changed. Unbeknownst to them, the approaching dawn signifies more than just the beginning of a new day. It heralds the impending clash that will define the course of their civilization. While the coalition grapples with a fragile balance between pride and survival, clarity slips through their fingers. They remain poised at a critical juncture in history. The Battle of Plataea represents more than a mere confrontation between Greeks and Persians. It encapsulates the clash of ideals, honor, and desperation that will resonate through the ages. Ultimately, the resilience or failure of this alliance against Mardonius will shape the future of Western civilization, as they race against time, determined to reclaim their homeland and secure freedom. Every decision made in the shadow of Mount Cithaeron could either bind them together in triumph or tear them apart forever. In this defining moment, the Battle of Plataea stands as a testament to the tenacity of the human spirit, where courage and strategy will determine the fate of nations, forever altering the legacy of the ancient world.